Hey everybody, it's your average guy with his average opinions. We are looking at episode number 7, and I'm going to talk about some more white privilege issues. I'm going to do it with my glasses on. I think I look a lot better. It makes my eyes look bigger. It hides the bad bags under my eyes. I only use them for reading, but as I get older and older, I'm going to eventually need glasses full time. So I'll put them on today because I feel like I look way better. Kind of also makes my eggplant shaped head look a little less eggplant shaped, so awesome. Yeah, I'm such a fucking supermodel. So, um, let's talk about a little bit more white privilege. I'm going to call this episode White Privilege to Electric Boogaloo because I'm stupid and I love that saying for any uh, sequel. But I was on Twitter today. I was just looking around. I don't really do much with my Twitter account. I should probably do more, but for now I'm busy doing other things. But I did see a video on Twitter basically showing the protesters, the pro-Trump protesters, are descending upon D.C., as we all know. They are, in my opinion, going to try to support a coup, which could very well end in a horrible bloodbath for them because once Biden is the commander in chief, he will be able to deploy the military and or the National Guard at his discretion, and he may very well need to do that at this point because apparently it's not enough to win by 7 million votes in this country. You still got a lot of people crying, saying the election was stolen. It wasn't. They need to get over it. It hasn't been proven. If this stacked Supreme Court doesn't support your ridiculous president, you guys need to get over it. Okay, so you got a man who's trying to heal the country in Biden, or he's going to have to try. Um, and by the way, you got a centrist as president. You act like like we brought in some commie, like we brought in I don't know who, whatever left wing, like it's Bernie. I don't know what the problem is, but you got a pretty reasonable man as president right now. Yeah, he may die and you may get Kamala. Guess what? She's not all that liberal either. Do your homework, do your research, figure it out. But having said all of that, so protests are happening in D.C. I would honestly equate them to the BLM protests in terms of just people that are not happy with what's going on, and that's the only way I equate them. I'm not equating there's no justification. There's no reason for these protests. BLM, there's obviously a reason. The systemic racism that continues to go on in this country, especially at the hands of law enforcement and the jurisprudence system, obviously it's something that needs to be addressed and corrected. This, on the other hand, these protests are just a bunch of angry white guys that didn't get their racist, xenophobic president another 4 years. Hey, by the way, guys, do you remember 4 years ago? He won by negative, and I'm going to put won by negative 3 million votes because of the fucked up electoral college, okay? He had 3 million less votes. He acted like he had 30 million more votes the way he wielded his power. It was disgusting. And now he has 7 million less votes. He lost electorally. He lost the popular vote. Get the fuck over it. And understand that you have a pretty reasonable man that's about to take the presidency. So, when I say white privilege to electric boogaloo, get back to the video I was watching on Twitter. It was basically, I'm going to call them Proud Boys. Proud Boys protesters that are trying to stage a coup, in my opinion. They are descending upon D.C. They think they're going to overwhelm the forces that reside there. They're not. I think we're going to have a lot of dead Proud Boys at the end of this. It's quite possible. If they try to take over the government and get their little puppet regime fucking demagogue Trump in there, it's not going to go well for them. I promise you. And if it does go well for them, people like me are going to head down there and there will be counter protests. And by the way, some of us are armed. I know you think that it's only the right-wing people that have guns and that can be violent in this country. It's not true. We're going to eventually, in fact, we're fed up. You lost. You're trying to divide the country even further than it already is. Get over it. So, back to the video. Sorry, I keep going on more emotions than facts right now. But the facts are, these people are wrong. We so I was watching this video. It's cops, trying to hold up a street, and we've seen it everywhere. We saw it in Seattle get ugly. We saw it in Portland get ugly, and we have seen these Proud Boys were trying to shove their way through these cops, and they actually shoved a couple to the ground, and finally the cops sprayed them with pepper spray. Okay, which actually I find reasonable. I would have found that reasonable if it were BLM, but there are a few big differences about how BLM was treated versus how these guys are treated. This is another example of white privilege. So these guys shove a couple cops to the ground. Instead of getting beaten with sticks or tear gas, they got some pepper sprayed down. That was fucking it. And by the way, these cops are completely putting on a human face for these protesters. I don't know why. You saw most of the BLM protesters. Often the cops were armored. I saw it myself with my own two eyes in Aurora for the Elijah McClain protest. These guys were armed, and they were armored. They had helmets on, they had face masks and gas masks on, they had body armor on. They're ready to rock and roll. Not in DC. Proud Boys, and I assume some of them have guns because that seems to be their MO, is often there's a guy with an AK-47 acting like a badass. They had, the cops, all they had on were masks, like cloth masks for COVID. Some of them didn't even have their standard issue hats, like their forget helmets and gas masks. They just had their cop uniforms on, and a lot of them, I didn't understand this. A lot of them had those like day glow greenish yellow, like they look like utility workers. I don't know I wouldn't wear that because that in my neighborhood that made you a target. I don't understand why you're wearing day glow in a sea of dark blue. Doesn't make sense to me. Sometimes cops aren't real smart, though. Let's be honest about that. But yeah, so there's no finer example of white privilege in how the different protests have been approached by the police. I can't say it's 100% all the time. For example, here in Denver, the police were not always armored. They were often just in their regular cop gear, right? But often they were. And in Aurora, they definitely were. And this time, like I said, if cops got pushed to the ground by BLM people / Antifa people, whatever you want to define them as, they were getting their asses beat, right? And most of the time they were proactive in just dragging people off that they found threatening before they even did anything, okay? So there's your white privilege for the day. These guys can shove cops to the ground and then get pepper sprayed, and they get to run away. No arrests were made that I've seen. I didn't see them getting beaten with batons. There was no tear gas used. There were no flash bombs used. And like I said, the cops were completely just in not their street clothes, but just their regular cop uniforms. So there we go. That's a lot on white privilege, and I've kind of repeated myself today. Maybe not as prepared as I should have been to do this video. I'm going to plug myself. This isn't really an opinion, but this can lead to a discussion. Today is Wednesday. I will post this tomorrow on Thursday. But I'm excited because on Friday I start doing comedy in a venue again, and that's kind of cool. We will be doing we'll be doing comedy shows every Friday at the Mercury Cafe here in Denver. I would love to see you there. It is a benefit show for Planned Parenthood. It's a $10 cover. You can get tickets on Eventbrite. If you go through, look me up on Facebook, John Corelli, JonCarelli. That's one way to get to the tickets. It's a small venue, and we're socially distancing, so we're only selling 50 tickets online. We also like to leave a few extra for walk-ins. But I'm excited. It should be fun. I've got a lot of funny ladies with me. We're doing all-female show on Friday. I've got 5 wonderful female Denver comics. I've got Lisa Lane Philholm. I have Christina Kleeman. I have Billy Joe Gillespie. I have Christine Tomlinson, and I have headliner Movita. She's one of my favorites. She plays with me at the Mercury all the time. I get to host it. It'll be a lot of fun, and so that helped me round out my 10 minutes for the day. Hope to see you guys on Friday night if you're in Denver. If not, please check your white privilege at the door. Peace.